Are you guys ready for this week's breakdown? What is shaking, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and I want to thank you guys for joining me for another Hot 10 breakdown of the week, your favorite video relating to comics. Now, just joking. I want to remind you guys, if you're not a current sub of the channel, do yourself a favor, smash that sub button for yourself. You will not regret it. We're almost at 8,000 subs. You know, once we get there, we're giving away some awesome stuff, and I started picking out what I'm going to give away. Do me a solid, smash that like button for me. We're trying to get this channel out to 10,000 subs by the end of the year. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting off the list at number 10 this week is a copy of Conan the Barbarian #1 and the first appearance of Conan the Barbarian. And we just had a CGC 9.8 sell for an insane $7,800, up 13% over the average. We also had a CGC 6.0 sale of only $335, up 11% over the average. Now, with that said, am I going to spend $8,000 on a 9.8? You guys know I'm not, but hell, for $300 and change for a 6.0, a really nice looking copy of this book, I'd be all over this one. A very undervalued key in my opinion. Back at the 9th spot this week is some modern goodness. It is a copy of Invincible #1 and the first appearance of Invincible. And last week we had a CGC 9.8 sell for $3,800, up another 10% over that average. Then we had a lowly CGC 8.5 sell for $800, up 15% over the average. This is one of the few modern books I'm actually on board with buying right now in this market. With that said, it's up to you if you want to go out and buy a 9.8 or get a lower grade for under $1,000. Me, I don't want to spend $4,000 on this book. I just don't want to do it. But hell, under $1,000 for an 8.5, I don't think that's a bad deal, but you have to be a super Invincible fan to do it. Still on the list at number 8 is a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin #1 and the first appearance of Oroko Hiroto, the grandson of the Shredder. This is also the first appearance of Casey Marie Jones, the daughter of Casey and April. And last week we had another CGC 9.9 sell for $640, up another 25% over the average. This book will not die. I told you guys this over the past couple of weeks. I'd rather own a trade paperback or a hardcover like I have than spend almost $700 on a 9.9 for issue #1. I just don't see the reason why we're spending all that money on this one. Coming in at number 7 this week is some Silver Age goodness. It is a copy of Iron Man #1 and the first ongoing title featuring Iron Man. This is also his origin story. And we just had a CGC 9.2 sell for $3,000, up 5% over the average. We also had a CGC 4.5 sale of only $506, up 10% over the average. You guys know I love this book. It's one of those books, every time I see it, I want to buy it. And I think for 4.5 for around $500, hell, I think you could even do a little bit better than that if you get a raw copy. I think it's always worth picking up. It's just my opinion. Back on the list at number 6 this week is a copy of Iron Fist #14 and the first appearance of Sabretooth. And we just had a CGC 9.0 sell for $650, up a crazy 20% over the average. Then we had a CGC 6.5 sale of only $300, up 2% over the average. I think a lot of collectors like me, we want to own this book in higher grades. I suggest a 7.0 or higher. Me, myself, I want to own a 7.5 or higher, and I still think it's pretty cheap. To me, this book is always a buy as long as it's around this price range. I'm back in the 90s with number 5. It is a copy of X Factor #6 and the first appearance of Apocalypse. And we just had a CGC 9.8 sell for $400, up an insane 29% over the average. I told you guys this last week. I want to own this book, but to me, this book was always a $20 to $30 book in the raw form. Why are we spending almost $500 on a 9.8? Well, with all the 9.9s that are about to show up, it's just not worth it. Get your copy for around $20 to $30, put it in your short box, and be done with it. Coming in at number 4 is a copy of The Boys #1 and the first appearance of Billy Butcher and Huey Campbell. And last week we had a CGC 9.8 sold for $400, up 17% over the average. We all know why this book is on this list, with season 5 coming out on Amazon Prime. With that said, I like the books, I want to own them, but I don't think you need to spend $400 on a 9.8. I think you can find yourself a couple of raw copies of these issues, or maybe even a trade paperback. Why spend all the money on this super modern key? To me, it's just not worth it. I have been waiting for this book to show up on this list, and it has finally happened. At number 3 this week is a copy of Deadpool Merc with a Mouth, number 7, and the first appearance of Lady Deadpool. We just had a CGC 8.0 sell for only $127, but get this, up 195% since 2016. I'm surprised this book has taken this long to finally appear, but you all know the rumors. Blake Lively has been rumored to show up as Lady Deadpool in the MCU. Or is it Taylor Swift? We don't know. We're going to find out on July 25th. With that said, I'm not spending $127 on this issue. Hell, I'll wait till after the movie comes out and buy it for around $40 if I'm interested. Back on the list at number 2, we got a 1-week reprieve with this one. Is a copy of New Mutants 98 and the first appearance of Deadpool. And last week, we had a CGC 9.8 sell for a whopping $1,550, up 13% over the average. Now, with that said, last week on Elite Comics 11, they had a copy of this one sell for $975, and just yesterday, they had another copy for $1,250. So why is someone spending $1,550 on this book? I cannot explain it. With that said, guys, I'm waiting for after this movie to come out for all the hype to die down, and then I'm probably going to end up snatching this book for under $1,000. And finally, at the top spot, back on the list, another 1-week reprieve is a copy of Wolverine number 1 and the first solo Wolverine title in this iconic cover by the great Frank Miller. And last week, we had a CGC 9.8 sold for $683, up 4% over the average. Then we had a CGC 9.4 sale of only $225, up 17% over the average. I'm shocked that people are buying this book and that this book is still going up in price. With that said, my feelings have not changed. Wait for after the movie to come out. And if you want to own your copy, it's been maybe around $120 to $150, and that's it. No reason to break the bank on this one with all the copies out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Some new books, some of the same stuff reappearing on this list. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and this is a tough one. I chose Iron Man number 1 over Iron Fist number 14, but I gotta be honest, I'd probably go out and buy both of these books right now and still spend under $1,000 in high to mid grade. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I think both of those books are worth owning right now. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I want to remind you guys, if you have a collection that you're looking to sell, do not be afraid to email me. My email is in the description of every video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.